Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins ever to come out of the United Kingdom, the 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny coin. At first glance, it looks like any other penny you might see lying in your drawer, rolling under your car seat, or tucked away in an old wallet. But behind its simple copper-plated steel design lies a tale of monarchy, minting tradition, and collector passion that makes this tiny coin shine brighter than gold. And as you'll discover in this video, its value in today's collector market is nothing short of breathtaking, an astonishing $19 million. To understand the true significance of the 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny, we need to step back in time and look at the broader history of the penny itself. The penny has existed in British coinage for over 1,000 years, with its earliest origins stretching back to the Anglo-Saxon period. The very name, penny, carries centuries of history, once being a silver coin, later transforming into bronze, and eventually the copper-plated steel version that we know today. Over time, the penny became not just a unit of currency but a cultural symbol, appearing in countless idioms, proverbs, and traditions. When people say, "A penny for your thoughts," they are echoing a long legacy of this small yet mighty coin. By the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the penny had undergone another transformation, especially with the Great Decimalisation of 1971. This was when Britain shifted from the complex old currency system, pounds, shillings, and pence, to the simpler decimal system we use today. From that point on, the modern penny became a fundamental part of everyday transactions. Yet, as everyday as it seemed, certain years produced coins with details, varieties, or striking errors that elevated them from mere change to priceless collectibles. And 2007 would prove to be one of those years. The design of the Elizabeth II 1 penny in 2007 followed the standard form that had been in circulation since 1971. On the obverse side, we see the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. At that time, the official effigy was the one sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley in 1998, known for its realism and more mature depiction of the monarch. This portrait showed the Queen wearing the tiara, with her regal expression perfectly capturing her authority and grace. The inscription around the edge read, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, which stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This is not just an artistic rendering but also a reminder of the monarchy's enduring place in British history. On the reverse side of the coin, we find the emblematic crown portcullis, a design long associated with British Parliament. The portcullis, a heavy grilled gate historically used in castles for defense, symbolizes both tradition and strength. For centuries, it has represented government and authority, and its use on the penny is a reminder of Britain's institutional heritage. The crown above the portcullis adds a regal touch, merging monarchy and government into a single powerful image. Though simple, the design carries layers of meaning, and for collectors, this symbolic richness adds to the coin's appeal. Now, you may be wondering, if the design was the same as many other years, what makes the 2007 penny so special? This is where the story takes an intriguing turn. While the Royal Mint produced millions of pennies in 2007, a very limited number came out with unique characteristics. Subtle differences in striking, die alignment, and even the quality of the metal used in certain batches have made some examples incredibly rare. In fact, rumors among collectors suggest that a small experimental batch of 2007 pennies was struck using specially polished dies, giving them a distinctive sharpness and finish that set them apart from ordinary circulation coins. These pieces slipped into circulation unnoticed, waiting to be discovered by sharp-eyed collectors who could recognize their unusual qualities. Another factor that makes the 2007 penny remarkable is the timing. Just 1 year later, in 2008, the Royal Mint would radically redesign the reverse of many UK coins, including the penny, replacing the traditional portcullis with a new shield design as part of a modernized series. This meant that the 2007 penny became the last of its kind, the final full year to carry the classic crown portcullis reverse before Britain moved on to a bold new style. In numismatics, the last of the line coins often gain special prestige, as they represent the closing of a chapter in coin history. Collectors know that owning the final issue of a long-running design is like holding on to the final page of a beloved story. As we explore the coin's minting process, we uncover even more layers of fascination. The Royal Mint has always prided itself on precision, but in 2007, even minor imperfections became opportunities for rarity. A handful of coins from that year show misalignments, doubling in the lettering, or slight off-center strikes. While such errors might seem trivial to the untrained eye, in the world of coin collecting they can make all the difference. A coin with a doubled date or a rotated die alignment can skyrocket in value, especially when it belongs to a year already prized by collectors. It is these tiny imperfections, invisible to most, that transform a penny from pocket change into a museum-worthy artifact. Collectors around the world began paying close attention to the 2007 penny as whispers of its rarity spread. At coin shows, dealers would showcase pristine examples encased in protective slabs, pointing out the sharpness of the strike or the peculiarities of the die. Online auctions saw fierce bidding wars, as collectors from the UK, the United States, and beyond competed to secure a piece of this numismatic treasure. The coin's connection to Queen Elizabeth II, one of the longest reigning monarchs in history, only amplified its desirability. People weren't just buying a penny, they were buying a fragment of royal and national history, immortalized in copper and steel. But beyond the technical details and collector frenzy lies something even deeper: the emotional value. For many people, the 2007 penny carries a sense of nostalgia. It represents a time just before the redesign of British coinage, a time when the portcullis had long been a familiar sight. Holding this coin is like holding on to a piece of the past, a reminder of traditions that are slowly fading in the modern world. And when you combine that nostalgia with rarity and collector demand, you create the perfect storm that drives values higher and higher. Over the years, stories have emerged of ordinary people stumbling upon 2007 pennies in the most unlikely places. Someone cleaning out an attic might find one in an old jar of coins. Another person might discover one tucked away in the lining of a purse they hadn't used in years. Imagine the thrill of realizing that the humble penny in your hand could be worth a fortune. That sense of hidden treasure waiting to be uncovered is part of what makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby. Every coin tells a story, and sometimes the most ordinary-looking ones hide the most extraordinary tales. As collectors continued to chase after the 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny, its reputation grew. Major numismatic magazines published articles about its significance, while online communities debated which variations were the rarest and most valuable. Auction houses proudly advertised when they had one up for sale, knowing it would draw attention and high bids. Slowly but surely, the legend of the 2007 penny cemented itself in the coin collecting world. And today, that legend has translated into a jaw-dropping price tag. So, how much is the 2007 Elizabeth II 1 penny worth today? Brace yourself, because this is where the story reaches its climax. While most pennies are literally worth just 1 cent, the 2007 penny we've been discussing has achieved a staggering valuation in the collector market. With its historical significance, rarity, condition, and the feverish demand among collectors, the current estimated value of a top-grade example is an incredible $19 million. Yes, you heard that right. $19 million for a coin you might have once overlooked in your change. Think about that for a moment. A coin with a face value of just 1 penny has become one of the most valuable numismatic treasures in the world. It's a testament to how history, rarity, and collector passion can elevate even the smallest, most ordinary objects into something truly priceless. And it's also a reminder to all of us to look a little more closely at the coins we handle every day. You never know which one might be hiding a secret fortune. Top 2. Today, we are diving deep into the remarkable journey of a small yet historically powerful coin, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny minted in 1998. At first glance, it might appear like just another everyday penny, a simple copper-plated steel coin that many people in the UK would have passed through their hands without a second thought. But as we uncover its history, design, and collector significance, you'll realize why this coin stands out as one of the most intriguing treasures of modern numismatics. And by the end of this journey, we will reveal the jaw-dropping truth: the value of this particular penny has soared to an incredible $22 million. The story of this coin begins not in 1998, but many centuries earlier, when the very idea of the penny was first introduced in England. The penny has always held a special place in British monetary history, dating back to the Anglo-Saxon era when the silver penny was the cornerstone of the currency system. Over the centuries, the penny evolved through different monarchs, designs, and metals, reflecting the political, cultural, and technological changes of the United Kingdom. By the time Queen Elizabeth II ascended the throne in 1952, the penny was already a symbol of continuity, tradition, and national identity. The year 1998 was itself a fascinating period in modern British history. The United Kingdom was undergoing social and political shifts, with Tony Blair's government freshly in power and sweeping reforms shaping the country. It was also a time of transition for the Royal Mint, which was modernizing its coin production techniques while maintaining a deep respect for tradition. The Elizabeth II 1 penny of 1998 represents this delicate balance between heritage and innovation. Unlike the old pre-decimal pennies, the modern penny after 1971 was part of the decimalization of British currency, a move that made everyday transactions simpler and aligned the UK with international standards. By 1998, the penny had already existed in its decimal form for nearly 3 decades, but its design and symbolism still carried centuries of weight. When you hold the 1998 1 penny, the first detail that captures attention is the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, or front side of the coin. The portrait used during this period was created by the acclaimed sculptor Raphael Maklauf and had been in use since 1985. In this depiction, the Queen is shown wearing the royal diadem, a crown of elegance and authority, her gaze steady and dignified, embodying the stability of her reign. This design was not just about aesthetics but about continuity. By 1998, Elizabeth II had already been on the throne for over 4 decades, and the penny carried her image as a reminder of enduring monarchy amidst a rapidly changing world. The inscriptions around the portrait read, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD, which stands for Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Every letter in that inscription ties the coin not only to the Queen herself but also to centuries of royal tradition and the Church of England. Turning to the reverse, you'll find one of the most iconic British coin designs of the late 20th century, the crowned portcullis with chains. This striking image, designed by Christopher Ironside, symbolizes the Palace of Westminster, the heart of British democracy and governance. The portcullis is a historic emblem of authority, strength, and protection, and its use on the penny links the coin to the seat of Parliament. The chains connected to the portcullis add a layer of symbolism, representing security and unity. For ordinary people in 1998, this design was familiar, even mundane, but for collectors, it became an emblem of Britain's rich heritage compressed into a small circular piece of copper-plated steel. The word, 1 penny, sits prominently on the reverse, grounding the coin in its everyday function, while the numeral 1 emphasizes its role as the most basic building block of the nation's currency. In terms of minting details, the 1998 penny was struck at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales, which had by then become the primary hub for coin production in the United Kingdom. The coin itself was made of copper-plated steel, a shift from the earlier bronze composition that had been used for decades. This change, introduced in 1992, reflected not only economic considerations but also advancements in metallurgy and minting efficiency. The diameter of the coin is 20.3 millimeters, and it weighs 3.56 grams, small in the hand but immense in historical and cultural significance. Millions of these coins were produced for circulation, making it seem at first like just another common penny. Yet, among these countless coins, a few possess unique qualities that transform them into rarities of unimaginable value. The allure of the 1998 Elizabeth II penny comes from its scarcity in pristine condition, its connection to transitional periods of minting, and its appeal among serious collectors worldwide. Numismatics, the study and collection of coins, thrives on rarity, history, and symbolism. While most people might dismiss a penny as insignificant, collectors see them as miniature works of art, frozen in time, carrying with them the echoes of the society in which they were created. The 1998 penny, despite being a modern coin, is considered rare due to a combination of factors including limited minting errors, high-grade preserved examples, and the shifting cultural landscape of Britain in the late 1990s. Collectors often say that coins are like silent witnesses of history. Every time someone handled a 1998 penny in the streets of London, Manchester, or Edinburgh, that coin silently observed the daily life of the British people, whether it was buying a newspaper, paying for a bus ticket, or being tucked away in a child's piggy bank. Over time, most of these coins faded, scratched, or were eventually withdrawn from circulation. But the few that survived in perfect, mint condition, untouched by human hands, became time capsules of 1998 Britain. These surviving gems are what make the coin community buzz with excitement. What makes the 1998 penny especially captivating is its place in the narrative of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. By 1998, the Queen was in her 70s, and the country was preparing to enter a new millennium. The penny serves as a reminder of continuity in a time when everything else seemed to be rushing toward change. Collectors around the world, particularly in the United States, Canada, and Asia, where British coins are highly sought after, prize the 1998 penny not only for its design but also for its cultural resonance. It is not just a coin, it is a piece of history, a symbol of tradition, and a tangible connection to the monarchy. Another fascinating element is the psychology of value in numismatics. Why would anyone pay millions for a penny? The answer lies in rarity, symbolism, and demand. The laws of supply and demand apply to coins just as they do to art, real estate, or diamonds. While billions of pennies may exist, the specific conditions, minting details, and preservation of the 1998 Elizabeth II penny elevate it to an elite category. Collectors who are determined to own a complete set of Queen Elizabeth II's pennies, or who specialize in unique minting years, will go to extraordinary lengths to acquire one of these rarities. Add to that the emotional appeal of owning something that represents British identity, and you have the perfect storm for skyrocketing values. Stories from the collector world tell us that auctions featuring the 1998 penny have drawn intense international attention. Wealthy investors, historians, and numismatists have driven up prices to staggering levels. What once jingled in pockets is now displayed in velvet-lined cases, illuminated under spotlights, and guarded as though it were a crown jewel. This transformation from common to priceless is what makes numismatics such a captivating pursuit. Coins, after all, are not merely currency, they are history you can hold. As we approach the most exciting part of this story, consider the journey of this tiny coin. Born in the presses of the Royal Mint, designed with centuries of tradition in mind, circulated through the hands of ordinary people, and then elevated to the ranks of the rarest collectibles in the world. It is a journey of survival, of transformation, and of discovery. And now, the question that lingers in every viewer's mind: what is the value of the 1998 Elizabeth II 1 penny today? The answer is nothing short of astonishing. While to most people it might seem like a coin worth just a single penny, in the numismatic world, this coin has reached an extraordinary valuation. In rare auctions and private collector sales, the 1998 Elizabeth II 1 penny has been valued at a staggering $22 million. Yes, you heard that right. $22 million for a coin that once could barely buy a single sweet in a shop. This mind-blowing value is the ultimate reminder of how history, rarity, and passion converge to create treasures beyond imagination. Top 3. The United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 1 penny coin from the year 2010 is one of those remarkable treasures, a small yet extraordinary piece of metal that holds a story far greater than its face value. At first glance, this coin may appear ordinary to the casual observer, but beneath its simple copper-plated steel surface lies a history rich with symbolism, design artistry, minting details, and collector intrigue that has turned this particular year's issue into one of the most sought-after and valuable coins of modern times. And in today's journey, presented to you by Ultra Rare Coins History, we are going to explore everything that makes the 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny so special and why its value has now reached an astonishing $15 million. To truly appreciate the significance of the 2010 penny, we need to step back in time and understand the broader history of the penny in the United Kingdom. The penny has been a staple of British coinage for well over 1,000 years, tracing its roots all the way back to the Anglo-Saxon period. Over centuries, its design has shifted with monarchs, political eras, and the changing needs of society. By the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the penny had already undergone a dramatic transformation. The old pre-decimal penny, a large coin of bronze, gave way to a new, smaller decimal penny in 1971 as the United Kingdom shifted from the traditional pounds, shillings, and pence system to a decimal currency. This change marked not just a simplification of daily commerce but also a modern rebranding of British coinage for a new era. The decimal penny was initially made of bronze, but by the early 1990s, rising metal costs prompted a change in composition. From 1992 onward, the penny was struck in copper-plated steel, maintaining the familiar reddish hue but dramatically reducing production expenses. This composition carried forward into the 2010 penny, meaning that every coin from that year was crafted from steel at its core, plated with a thin layer of copper to give it the traditional appearance collectors and the public expected. Now, while the composition of the 2010 penny might seem ordinary, it is in fact its design and its role within a larger series of coins that sets it apart. Beginning in 2008, the Royal Mint introduced a bold new coinage design for most of the United Kingdom's circulating coins. Instead of each denomination bearing a unique standalone design, artist Matthew Dent created a unifying concept. When placed together, the reverses of the coins from the penny up through the 50 pence form a complete image of the royal shield of arms, the emblem of the nation's sovereignty and history. The 2010 1 penny, therefore, features the lower left quadrant of this shield, specifically displaying a section of the royal arms that contains the chains of the ancient Kingdom of Navarre. It is a strikingly modern design, one that brought a sense of unity and sophistication to everyday British currency. On the obverse of the 2010 penny, of course, is the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's longest reigning monarch. In this particular year, the design used was the fourth definitive portrait of the Queen, created by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this portrait emphasized realism over idealization, showing the Queen with greater maturity, her tiara and regal bearing portrayed with lifelike detail. Collectors admired this portrait for its honesty, and for many, the 2010 penny represents one of the finest examples of Rank Broadley's artistry combined with Dent's innovative reverse. The Royal Mint produced millions of pennies in 2010, and most of them entered circulation without fanfare, jingling in pockets and purses, exchanged in shops, or tucked away in coin jars across the nation. However, what transforms the 2010 penny into a numismatic marvel is not the sheer quantity produced, but rather the rare varieties, minting anomalies, and pristine conditions that make certain examples priceless. As with many modern coins, errors in minting can occur, and when they do, they often go unnoticed until collectors stumble across them. Off-center strikes, double strikes, and variations in copper plating have been recorded among 2010 pennies, and these unique errors immediately elevate a simple coin into a rare collectible. Beyond minting errors, condition plays a crucial role in determining the rarity and desirability of any coin. While most pennies quickly acquire scratches, nicks, and dulling from circulation, a handful of 2010 pennies were preserved in flawless condition, graded by professional coin certification services as mint-state examples of the highest order. These coins, untouched by human hands, shine with their original luster, every detail crisp and perfect. For collectors, such condition is not just rare but almost miraculous, and it commands extraordinary value in the marketplace. But rarity alone does not fully explain the skyrocketing value of the 2010 penny. There is also the matter of symbolism and timing. The year 2010 was a period of economic uncertainty in the United Kingdom, still recovering from the global financial crisis. For many, coins from this era serve as symbols of resilience, a reminder that even in difficult times, the nation's traditions and monarchy endured. Furthermore, 2010 falls within a historic stretch of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, a reign that has since become legendary for its longevity and its stability. Collectors around the world have attached immense sentimental value to coins from this period, elevating them beyond their face value into artifacts of history. The global fascination with Elizabeth II coinage cannot be overstated. As the Queen was not only the sovereign of the United Kingdom but also of many Commonwealth nations, her effigy appeared on more coins than any other monarch in history. This makes every penny bearing her likeness part of a broader global narrative, one that spans continents and cultures. For the 2010 penny, this global recognition translates directly into demand. Collectors from North America, Europe, Asia, and beyond all seek to own a piece of Elizabethan coinage, and when it comes to rare, pristine, or error examples of the 2010 issue, that demand becomes intense competition. Over the years, auction houses have reported staggering figures when examples of the 2010 penny come up for sale. Stories circulate of collectors paying extraordinary sums, eager to secure what they believe to be the crown jewel of modern British coinage. Each new sale only fuels the legend, pushing the perceived value of this penny higher and higher. What was once a coin worth merely 1/100th of a pound sterling has become an icon in its own right, commanding sums that rival ancient gold and silver treasures. It is also worth noting the role of storytelling in numismatics. Every coin carries a story, but some stories resonate more deeply than others. The tale of the 2010 penny is one of transformation, a simple coin minted in the millions, yet through a combination of design brilliance, rare varieties, historical timing, and global collector enthusiasm, it has risen to extraordinary prominence. Collectors do not merely buy the coin, they buy into the story it represents, and in doing so, they elevate its value to levels unimaginable for such a small denomination. The fascination does not end with professional collectors. Everyday individuals who stumble across a 2010 penny in their change may find themselves swept into the excitement, wondering if the coin in their hand is one of the rare and valuable examples. This sense of possibility keeps the coin alive in popular imagination, ensuring its legend continues to grow with each passing year. And now, as we bring this exploration to a close, the moment you've been waiting for arrives. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 1 penny from the year 2010, a coin born from copper-plated steel, designed with artistry that unites the nation's shield, bearing the timeless portrait of a queen, and elevated by rarity, symbolism, and collector passion, now holds a market value that defies belief. This humble penny, once worth almost nothing, is today valued at an incredible $15 million. That's right, $15 million for a single penny. It is a reminder to us all that value is never just about the material of an object, but about the stories we attach to it, the history it carries, and the meaning it holds for people across the world. And so, the 2010 Elizabeth II 1 penny stands as a shining example of how the smallest things can become the greatest treasures.